Hey, what's going on, everybody, family and friends? Um, Today we're going to talk about a little different subject. Uh, Excuse me for my tardiness on posting this one. So this past week, it was the last week of finals and things turning for schoolwork and things like that. And I was able to work and get some of that stuff done. But before that happened, uh, I kind of got down. Not kind of. I got down. I got slumped over with, thoughts, anxiety, emotions, fears, and I got depressed. And this is a problem I've been having for a while. Something I'm working on. Something that's been actually going down ever since I went through my first fast and kind of start to build my house and my relationship with God on a whole different level. Um, but this time I kind of let my not kind of I let my insecurities, my fear, my doubt of myself, me feeling not capable or sufficient enough to do some of the work that I'm doing. Um, some of the fear in me knowing just not too many men in my family have graduated college, nonetheless completed a master's degree, uh, or even know of anything of uh, business on this type of level. From what I understand and what I know of, if they do, I don't have a relationship to where I communicate with them effectively, and they talk, and we have these conversations, or I'm learning these things um, about the new business world and things that changes on a yearly basis. So, you know, certain people trying to help and this and that, and it's like I kind of step outside of myself and my true self and fall back to my false self, which can happen with a lot of people. When things get tough or get hard, you tend to start doing the things you used to do. It's easy to do that. That's what I know how to do, or not that it's easy, it's comfortable. Because when you get to a place of anxiety, depression, you're so uncomfortable, but there's no solutions. There's no answers to what you think in your mind. You don't know, or I can't, or it'll take this long, or the what if start happening. All those things like that. That's one reason why I'm playing the song "Fear" by Kendrick Lamar in the background. Uh, Hopefully y'all be able to hear it. So that happened. I kind of got slumped. Uh, I just ended up leaving the house yesterday for the first time in like 5 days. Uh, so I was, get down. I would just want to do things that will make me feel comfortable, things of comfort. Some people use food. Some people use sex. Some people use drugs, alcohol, um, a false sense of comfort to where it just gives you sleep or peace that can, it seems okay at the time, because this is the one thing I know, this it's okay. Like, let me just do this and relax for a second, then I'll get to it. But that relax for a second, let me rest for a second, turns into a minute turns to an hour, and just the snowball effect just starts going. So I get into that state. People trying to help me, hold me accountable, things like that. But I get to a point where I just shut everybody off, and to where I would turn my phone. I used to turn my phone off a lot, and I'm not one of those people, one of those generational kids where it's like I'm always by my phone. Um, so if I'm not by my phone, I'm just not by my phone. Like, I always think to myself when it might be a wrong type of thinking, but even if somebody's hurt or dying, um, I'm gonna get there when I can, or as soon as I find out or whatever. I'm like, I was the most supportive, but like, what else can I do? So, and that's wrong with me thinking like that, and that's another thing I've been working on. But at that point in time, I just turned my phone on. I didn't turn off immediately. I went to do not disturb. Then I had on silent, do not disturb. Then I ended up just cutting it off. I think that was Tuesday or Wednesday. Um, and one thing that helped me was my sister, because she kind of helped put me not in check, but she helped me, like, she would just ask me questions that would kind of allow me to check myself. Like, she would come and say, "What's going on, entrepreneur?" what business are you handling today? This things like that, and I'm thinking like, and she knows the answer because she this is when you get to me on that level, you can't just do it over the phone because if I don't want to pick up, I'm not going to pick up. But she came over. It wasn't even for me specifically, but she came and just was seeing how I was doing, and when you get that face to face, confrontation, something has to come out of it. And one thing I was doing while I was still depressed, but I was still like down and hard on myself. I was still I don't think I missed a day of reading. I think I probably didn't pray maybe one day, but I was still reading my word for 10 minutes and somewhat meditating, not to the capacity of what I need to and correctly. Um, so I went from that to getting out of that, trying to do a little bit. Then I was like, okay, I'll do a little bit and take a break. Like, I do some work and reward myself. Do some work and reward myself because how I usually am, I'm just like, let me sit in here. I'm not moving until this is done. Then one thing's done. But the problem with that is, that's fine when you complete one little thing. Sometimes our minds get so big, we're on the grand scheme of things, they just break it down like bit by bit, and that's the importance of understanding, killing an elephant. Like you have a big goal, you have a big task, you have a big dream, but you can't get to that, big thing until you do the small things, which is just one thing at a time. That's essentially all anybody can ever do. And sometimes that's hard for me to cope and deal with because in my mind, I think I can do so many different things at one time instead of mastering one to where I'm jack of all trades and master of many. It's a thin line, and it's very difficult and hard for me to even accomplish because in my mind, it's not anything that I can't do or can't touch or can't accomplish. And sometimes we get so caught up in our own speed, our own time frame of our mind of what we put on ourselves. And sometimes, not that saying they are unrealistic, but there's only so many hours in a day. So you trying to put a time frame and you don't even control time. So you can move as fast as you want to move, be as smart as you want to be. But when the day ends, another one starts, God willing, that's all there is and you can't do anything. So I have to realize and tell myself that stop putting things on a time frame because time isn't something you can control. Put it on there and just get it done. You know, they have the saying better late than never, which is, good. And I always understood it, but I was always thinking, why have it late when you can have it now? And that's part of the generational thing. I guess everybody wants everything, right now, right now, right now. But it doesn't happen like that. It's a process, and it takes time. It just doesn't take the time you want it, but it's gonna take whatever time it needs to get done, which is depend on you. That is one thing you can't control. What and how you get things done, you can't control. The time, man, that it takes you to get them, you can't control them as much until you master completion, then master you being effective in a timely manner, to be able to cut down the time frames to get things done, but still have that good quality of work, whatever you're trying to do. So I was able to kind of get myself up out of that space, made a whole list, start knocking things out, scratching. And I got to a place where I was so ashamed of myself to where sometimes it gets hard to face yourself, even to a point to where you're talking to God, you cannot see. So if people have a problem, talking to yourself, there's definitely have problems with talking to other people. That's one reason why I'm kind of doing this. It's therapeutic for me, but hopefully I can get this out and somebody be able to look on here and it'll help them. So we'll see how that goes. Also, side note, I'm trying to learn how to, edit videos and make the production of what I'm showing you guys a little bit better because it doesn't look as clears out wanting certain things. It's just me learning something new. But the truth of the reality is, where you at, and what you doing, and how do you handle problems. Um, that's one of the most important things that anybody could do. How do you handle problems? How do you adjust when you can't make adjustments and you feel cornered and trapped? That's when you get the feeling the walls are closing in, the depression can sink in, things get as bad as suicidal thoughts, feeling of hopelessness, lack of self worth, um, and self love and things like that. And when that comes, it's nothing but destruction, and it's nothing but fear and the devil, and even not just the devil, but your own self. Um, Battling with inside yourself. Uh, we have a lot of problems going on in the world. Um, and this world is full of spirits, and we're all spirits at the end of the day. Um, some have to do with the devil, some have to do with God. But at the same time, it goes back on us. So it's about within our own self, like I said, and what you have to be able to be strong minded enough to tell yourself, like, that's not true. What is true, who you are, what you are. That's comes the importance of the affirmations. And that's another thing I kind of found myself when I was doing all this. I wasn't even leaving my room because my affirmations are on my wall. So when I would get in that place before now, I just get to read those words. Even if I didn't believe them, I was reading them out loud to where I could hear them, because it's where faith comes by hearing. So, you know, subconsciously, this is still making me run. Even when I don't feel like it or not as good. But when I took myself out of the environment, I wasn't walking up to read those words on the wall. Like, it wasn't anywhere. I wasn't in my room. I was it was in my brother's space for a little bit. So, uh, I just ended up breaking the commitments that I put to myself, which were, no TV till Saturday. Friday, Saturday is the only time I can really watch TV. Um, you know, Certain things not being on the internet and things like that. Um, but it's okay. Do what you can, the best you can, and don't do God's job. Just make sure you do your job. And sometimes it's a thin line where we can get confused with what our job is. Um, my job is to get this work done um, on time and effectively, and with good quality and understanding of the work. Um, it's the Lord's job to just make things possible for me to even get in more classes, to get the grade accepted, whatever else I need to accomplish or get to that goal, to that place to where I believe He is letting me walk towards, to learn more. One thing I said in another video, we perish with lack of understanding, so I need to be learning every day. To educate myself is not just to go to college. It's not just to get a piece of paper with a degree that doesn't solidify anything until you have some things behind it. Either some paper or some type of following with it. A degree is just exactly what it is. It's as real as the money we have. Which isn't real at all, because you can burn up and we make it ourselves. So how real is something that you make? It's just another resource. So you just need to use it effectively. That's all I'm trying to do. So that was it. Getting back on track. I'm recommitting myself. Starting, let's say Friday. Starting Sunday. So one thing I heard from Evan Carmichael is, if you want to do something, I always start Monday. But my thing is, I'm gonna start Sunday, because Sunday is actually the beginning of the week for me, and I try to start my Sundays as the beginning of the week to have the last day of rest, which is the Saturday, well, Friday night to Saturday, to be exact. So hope y'all have a good one. Stay blessed, stay encouraged. If you're ever feeling down, there's many other things you can do. You can go for a walk. Go exercise. That's another thing I've learned. Depression, anxiety, all that stuff. those things can't live in a house of joy, peace, understanding, love. Two things like that, they can't stay in one house. It's hard to be depressed when you're working out because you have to focus on your mind goes somewhere else. It has to. If not, that weight's gonna fall on you. Um, you're not gonna be able to reach that mile. You're just gonna stop, moving. So the biggest thing, just get up and move. Um, get up and shower. Physically clean yourself before, after you mentally, spiritually, and emotionally cleanse yourself. Just let that become a process and find out what works for you. So I hope this can help somebody. You're not the only one out there. It's tons of people, but it's tons of solutions. So find what works best for you. That's harmonious to your body. It can work everything, and get up, get moving. Love y'all. Stay blessed. Have a good one.